Welcome back to the Mountain Man Medical YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some officers who were able to save the life of a stabbing victim. We're going to look at what they do and why they do it. So stick around. We're going to get into that next. All right, guys, this story is coming to you from the Montgomery County Police Department YouTube channel. I'll leave a link down in the description so you can go and give that video a check out for yourself if you so desire. But I'm going to talk a little bit about it and kind of go over what's going on and maybe learn some lessons about how we can do things better. So, according to the YouTube channel description, on Sunday, June 28th, a little over a month ago now, at least at the time of this recording, responding 3rd District officers observed the victim, a 28-year-old male, lying on the pavement in the town home community parking lot. The man was suffering from apparent stab wounds. He was bleeding profusely and unresponsive. So, bleeding, unresponsive, that probably means he's lost a lot of blood already. These officers don't have a whole lot of time to take care of this guy. So let's see how they do it. Check this out now. And just a warning, guys, this might be a little rough for some people. So if you got kids out there that might be watching this, then you might want to tell them to go take a hike. Just for now, there's some screaming and that kind of stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Not too bad, though.
Hey, everybody walk over here for me. Walk over here for me. Item 14, send fire rescue in here now. Is the person who did this inside?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Boone, come over here. Gun on that door.
It's under his arm on his left side, please. He's breathing faintly.
Gun on that door. Hey, buddy.
Let me see your hand.
Now, it sounded like she said that it was that his wound was on his arm on his left side. I think that's what she said. And now you see this guy up here. He's got his this cop has got his gun on that door. He's got his light out. He's paying attention because that threat is still around. We don't know where that threat is. Maybe he's over here. According to the witnesses, after the altercation, he ran into one of these buildings, but we don't know. And it turns out afterwards that he had already fled the area. It wasn't even in the home to begin with. So just because the witnesses are saying one thing doesn't mean that it's always true. So be on the lookout for that. I would call this a care under fire phase. So their goal is to slap on some tourniquets and some chest seals as quick as they can to stabilize him and keep him alive. And then they need to make sure that that area is far more secure so that firefighters, paramedics, EMTs can get in there and start working on this guy.
That's not him? All right, Boone, just stay on him. That's fine, man.
It's under his arm,
That's fine.
Yeah, she's saying it's under his left arm. So that might also mean the armpit, which is what's called a junctional wound, which is extra nasty because it's very difficult to stop the bleeding there. That's what you need QuikClot for, is the junctional wounds in the neck, the groin, in the armpits. Those are junctional wounds because it's a junction, right? So that's why you need the QuikClot.
Who did this? He's inside the house.
It's not him.
He's putting on his PPE here, getting his gloves ready. When things are going really crazy and you're trying to screw around with these stupid little gloves, drives you crazy, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Please, babe. He's trying to put his gun down. It's not him.
And now he's breaking out his department-issued cat tourniquet, getting ready to save life.
Just keep them coming. We're still trying to straighten this out.
Please come to his straight out.
Please somebody up here with that kid.
It's not him. Please.
Now, I know that they're upset, they're scared. This is their son, their boyfriend, their husband, their dad, whoever this is laying here, and they're not talking. So they're very scared. But if you can help it, and this is you who's witnessing this, then try your best not to add to the chaos if you can. Try to be there to answer all the questions that the officers and the paramedics have for you, but at the same time, try not to add to the chaos. You're only making things worse, and there's enough going on right now. You know, do what you can to help out. They'll get better care because of it.
Walk to him, please. Dad, walk to him. Please.
Hold on.
It's not him, I promise you. I don't know.
And this is a good reason why you need to trust your partners. You know, he can keep his head down and work hard and try to save this guy's life while he knows his partner is up. He's aware, he's paying attention. He's providing the safety and the security right now.
Please, you making it worse. I can help. He's drunk. He's intoxicated. My God. Please. No, I don't want him to
We're staying in the arm, so I'm throwing a tourniquet on it.
Now, it's a good idea if you've got the time and no one is shooting at you, try to figure out where that wound is, because you could be wasting your time putting on a tourniquet on this arm when you could have been putting a tourniquet on his leg or stopping a junctional bleed or something like that. So if you've got the time, try to expose the wound, try to figure out exactly where that bleeding is coming from so you're not wasting time treating the wrong thing.
Haven't checked anywhere else yet.
I don't even understand anywhere else, not that's to my knowledge.
So all this blood is just from the arm.
It's just from the other
You got the
arm.
light from
Can you please make sure he's breathing?
Air 22.
Please make sure he's breathing.
Okay. He's got a pulse still. Okay.
And don't stop turning that windlass to check his pulse. Get that tourniquet cranked down and get that bleeding to stop before you start checking the vital signs. I mean, if you've got multiple casualties, then you want to be able to triage. Maybe you shouldn't even be applying a tourniquet to this guy. But this is the only casualty, so what I would probably do is try to hop on it, find where the bleeding is coming from, get that bleeding to stop, and then go back and check the vital signs. If they don't have blood in their body, they're not going to have vital signs to check. So you might as well just get that bleeding stopped first before you go through and actually check his vital signs and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, right here. Right here. We need a chest seal. Okay. Give me a chest seal, buddy. You got Shears too. The shirt's gonna have to come off.
And he is still turning that windlass. He should have that cranked down and locked into place, you know, a little while ago. Don't get distracted and stop turning it. That's what's going to save his life. Getting that tight and stopping the bleeding. So don't lose your focus. Get that accomplished and then move on to the next task.
Hey, buddy.
Step back.
Hey, keep talking for me. Hey, this might be agonal.
We got a seal over here. What does that mean?
Agonal breathing.
Baby, stay with me, please.
Yeah, what they're talking about is they think that might be agonal breathing, which is a brainstem reflex. It's not real breathing. They're just short, gasping breaths. And they're not really doing anything to oxygenate his vital tissues. So that's what agonal breathing is. And breaking out the chest seal. Trying to get that chest seal off with gloves is kind of difficult and frustrating, but you can do it. Stay at it.
Yeah, I got to turn.
Now, ideally, he would have kept his hand over the puncture wound to keep air from getting into the chest cavity while somebody else got out the chest seal to apply it. That's generally the best practice, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And in this situation, it wound up being that the victim survives this.
Turn it on his arm.
Make sure you don't everything else.
Please stay alive, please.
I don't see anything else on the back.
We got one stab wound here, possibly one in the armpit.
got a pulse on him still?
He was just breathing.
Yes, trying to get on this arm up here. You have one on there? Yes, up here. Yeah, if you don't mind.
I gotta check his pulse real quick. Make sure he's not coding.
And now we're looking at the other body cam, at Officer Addison White.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, tourniquet's right there if we need another one.
Please stay alive, please.
I don't see anything else on the back.
We got one stab wound here, possibly one in the armpit.
Agonal breathing. Yes, tourniquet on this arm up here.
You have one on there?
Yes, up here.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
And now we see the officer using his multi-tool, looks like maybe a Leatherman, to cut away the victim's clothing. This is a really good reason why you should always have trauma shears on you. They work really great for this, and it helps keep you and the victim safe. You can see how he's cutting here. He's trying to be careful, but sometimes you never know what happens, especially in like an emergency. Someone comes running by, bumps your arm, and you just stab the victim in the neck and you give him another wound or something like that. Now, of course, you got to do what you got to do. If you just don't have shears, you got to make do and figure out how to get those clothes off of him. But keep some shears on you. They're really useful. You can use them for things besides trauma, like opening snacks, you know?
Yeah. I don't got one. Yep, tourniquet up here.
You got a tourniquet on that arm?
Yeah, right here.
Bleeding stop?
Where is the bleeding coming from here?
And you'll notice that they applied that cat tourniquet above the other tourniquets that were in place there. That's good medicine. You want to make sure that you do that, because if the tourniquets on the bottom are not working, then you need to occlude that artery, and the best place to do that is as closer to the body than where the other tourniquets are placed. And these tourniquets don't look like they're doing much, if they're doing anything at all. It's really difficult to make a good tourniquet. It's best to apply direct pressure and hold that pressure until the paramedics or the police officers can get to you with an actual commercial grade tourniquet. If you are the only responder, then you need to try to keep the blood in the victim as much as possible, right? So the direct pressure might be the only thing that saves them. If you let up on that direct pressure and try to go hunt up all the materials that you need to make a quality improvised tourniquet, then the entire time your casualty is bleeding out. So you want to be aware of that, and it might be the best bet to just hold direct pressure on that wound until paramedics or someone else can get to you, and not risk them bleeding out while you try to find everything that you need for an improvised tourniquet. The skills that it takes to save somebody's life are not substantial. All the officers really did was put on a chest seal and apply a tourniquet. I mean, that's great that they did that. It's great that they had the training to do that, but it just goes to show you that this stuff is not complicated. It's not very difficult to do. It helps if you know some key details and you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. And having the right equipment is key, as we can see in this situation. Trying to make an improvised tourniquet, not your best bet. Commercial, purpose-made tourniquets, that's the way to go. It's better to have it on you and ready to go when you need it, instead of trying to fumble around and try to do something that's not going to work anyway. So get yourself the equipment and make it count. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for hanging out and joining me and watching this video. I thought this was a pretty interesting one. I really enjoyed seeing that. I know our boys in blue get a lot of flack these days. They do a lot of good stuff out there. They save a lot more lives than they take. Police officers are on the scene of a medical emergency more often than firefighters and EMTs. I would say almost 99% of the time. So they are generally the ones that are going to be using tourniquets and chest seals to keep you stabilized until the EMTs and paramedics can get there to whisk you away. So they do a lot of great stuff, and they get a lot more flack than they deserve. They deserve some flack, but not all the flack. So keep that in mind next time you're thinking about your local police officers, and think when if you get a chance. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you guys got anything out of this. That's a free way to support the channel and to show me that you got something out of it, and help me keep these videos coming out to you guys. I really enjoy doing this, guys, and talking with you and learning a little bit and sharing some of the things that I know and learning alongside of everybody here. Guys, I'm learning so much. This has been a fantastic endeavor. I enjoy every day of it. Head over to mcpdmedia.com and pick yourself up a Yellowstone or a Sweetwater trauma kit and be ready for whatever the mountain throws at you. Stay safe, stay careful. I'll catch you guys in the next one.